Welcome to Cooking with Pam and Amy. Well, mostly Amy.
Hi
I'm just here for support.
You're on the back end. She's a very important support.
I'm the camera
She gets
person.
to answer all your questions.
Yes, questions. Speaking of questions, we love questions. Please ask what we're doing, what Amy's doing.
If you want clarification,
whatever you want to
tips,
do.
pointers, whatever you're looking for, don't hesitate to ask questions. Even if you're not cooking and you're just watching and you have a question for later, please ask it.
Oh, you like my apron? I got it as a white elephant gift. Had to wear it. And this is our Superwoman. So what you should be doing now, if you haven't already started, is washing your vegetables. If your kids are home, call them in, have them get started. We're going to give you some tips today of how to get the kids involved in cooking since they're home.
Yes.
Yep, and hopefully you're home from work. So Amy, I'll let you get started and we'll
get going.
Get going.
All right, guys. I hope you were able to shop for the ingredients without it being too crazy. If you got the shopping list, then it should have been pretty self-explanatory, and I hope you found everything you needed. Today we're going to be making lasagna, shepherd's pie, and taco meat for either salads, or you can make tacos, you can make nachos. I put a whole bunch of different ideas on the recipe. So if you didn't get the recipes, which means we haven't gotten your email, get in here to the Facebook group and figure out how to get your email into our thing. Pam, do you have a link for that you can put into the messages?
It's in our page, yep.
Perfect. So you can have the recipes. Now the recipes are written as if you were doing these meals individually. The purpose of my class today is to show you how to do these 3 meals at the same time and cooking one protein one way. So it kind of helps with timing. And so as you get more recipes, you'll see they're a collection of how to do them individually, but our meal prep community, our purpose is to make these things fast and efficient, and so that's how we're going to do that today. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is get the oven turned on. If you're going to do the lasagna with zucchini or eggplant, you need to have the oven turned on because we're going to dry those out a little bit so it doesn't make your lasagna soggy. If you've got regular noodles or the gluten-free noodles, don't worry about that yet, and we'll get to those in a little bit. And then I need you to obviously have all your vegetables washed by now so that we can put those into production quickly. And I'm going to start with the meat. Today I'm going to use the Instapot again, or you can use a pot on the stove, whatever you want. Pam's asked for a combination of ground beef and ground turkey, so I'm going to use both of those, and we're going to put it all in the Instapot and get that cooked. Once that's going, we're going to work on the different sauces that will go, and we'll split up the meats into that. So that's how we're making that process go faster. So
we've got Allie and Deborah and Shirlene, and they're all saying hello
hi guys.
to you.
Hi. Glad you could make it. I want you all to see I'm Superwoman today because
Wonder Woman.
Whoops, sorry. Wonder Woman. Because I'm going to wear a different apron every week to prove to you how many I have. And this needs to be fun. Remember how I talked about having color and fun in the kitchen? I have to wear an apron every day. I have a collection because it's fun. And when I see ones, I pick them up. The one that Pam had on is really funny. And it's true, nobody else's opinion but the person that I'm cooking for counts. So lucky you. I'm going to get going on the Instapot over here. And I think I'm moving out of the camera. Yes or no? I'm still good?
Good.
Okay. So we're going to use Pam's nice big one. And I'm going to get this in there. And then, side note, if you have frozen meat, it's okay. About an hour ago, Pam went, I forgot to get the meat out. But the beauty of the Instapot is that you can put it in there and it gets things cooking really fast. So let's get this in here.
Freya just joined us too.
Hi, Freya. Welcome, welcome.
Oh my heck, you love it. What, you love her apron?
Ladies, we can do anything when we're Wonder Woman, and we're all Wonder Woman.
Kristen just joined. Hopefully you guys are cooking. Let us know if you're cooking or if you're just watching. Rosie and Kristen, welcome, welcome.
Awesome.
Raise your hand if you have your veggies pre-washed or you've got kids cooking with you today. Send us a heart, a smiley face, a funny emoji if you've got kids cooking with you today. Washing vegetables is a good task for the kids.
Kidlets, yeah.
Allie's resting. Deborah needs to shop. Shirlene's watching. Freya's watching. Leah was our cooker last week, and Diane, I wonder if they're on yet.
Right? And are we doing the drawing for the pictures now, or are we doing it later?
We will do it at the end.
Okay, we will do it.
And we had 3 that posted pictures, so we have 3 contestants that will get
the odds are good.
And we'll get a hat like Amy.
Yay! Then you'll have to post pictures of you cooking with your hat on. All right, I'm going to turn this on to meat, and we're going to do 30 minutes. So one thing I wanted to do is see if I should break this up a little bit. Can I use these?
No, those are solid tongs. Second drawer.
Here we go. Yep, these are about half frozen. Good job getting them done.
Okay, while she's doing that, I'm just going to pipe in here. First step is to get all your ingredients out. So if you're cooking with us, that's the first step. Second step is to wash all of your vegetables. Third step was to turn the oven on. Fourth step was to get your meat in. So Amy is now on step 5.
5 is start preparing your sauces. So for the lasagna, I'm going to do a sauce from scratch because I just can't do jarred sauces anymore that I've lived in Italy. But it's very easy. So if you bought the ingredients, the onions, peppers, tomatoes, and some sauce, and then our fresh herbs, you'll see how easy this is. And if you wanted to make this move faster though, you can always buy the jarred sauces, and then you're throwing something together very simply. So first thing I'm going to do is we're using some peppers and some onions from last week that we've been using. So a good thing to do whenever you are cooking, especially meal prepping, is make sure you get through the refrigerator, get out stuff that you need to use up. And even if it's a random vegetable, you can throw it into things.
Green peppers going in the shepherd's pie.
Yes.
Red peppers going in.
The client speaks. All right, so we're gonna do.
Hi Mary, Ashley just came on with us.
Yay! Hi guys. We're gonna do some onion. I'm cutting them in really big pieces because I'm actually gonna chop them up in my Ninja, because for the sauces and for the meat, we really want stuff finely chopped. And if you have, I will show you in just a moment, this super cool Ninja or any kind of food processor, you can save yourself crying, or with trying to chop onions too fine can be annoying. So I like to use tools to their advantage, and we're going to do that today. So get these going. We were having an issue with the refrigerator today that we pulled out some things and they were frozen. Is anybody else having that issue? It's very strange, but we can still do stuff. Luckily, all the herbs and things we're going to use are going to be cooked anyway, so that's not that big of a deal. Did anybody try the recipes last week and would like to ask any questions about those, or tell us how you did making them? Did you find them to be fairly easy? Do you have ones you really liked and ones you'll never do again?
Hi Brenda. Any questions yet? Is she going too fast? Freya said that's a lot of onions. She's cutting the onions for the lasagna, shepherd's pie, and the taco meat all at the same time.
Yep.
Shirlene loved the enchiladas.
Good. I thought they turned out really well. The ones that we did here. I just finally ate the last soup that we made today. And that's always lovely, especially in this cold, cold weather. I didn't ever eat the salad, so I need to eat those. And I was trying to think of how I can heat them up to make them warm. Maybe I'll add them to a soup. I don't know, because I don't want to have them cold. So I'm going to do the peppers now. I have 1 onion for the
Show them your pepper
pie.
trick.
Oh, there's my pepper trick. All right, how to make them cut easy. Move that out of the way. So you take and you find one of the creases, and you just wrap it around like that, and then you pop it open. Can you see that?
Yeah.
From there? Good deal. And then you're just picking out the insides. If you tap it a minute, usually the seeds will come out. Sometimes there's some dirt still left up in here, so that gives you a good opportunity to clean it. I'm going to use one of your little napkins. Another thing I have experienced, because you're constantly washing your hands in the kitchen, and now we're constantly washing our hands even more, is that you don't want to put lotion on your hands and then be in the kitchen. And so I use the coconut oil, pure coconut oil, or you could use, what else is good? Pam?
Avocado oil.
Avocado oil, kind of.
Almond oil.
Yeah, the coconut oil soaks in really well. So I tend to like that. But I keep a little jar of it in my cooking box when I'm cooking for clients, as well as my kitchen to grab out and use, because I'm always washing my hands and they get really dry. And so that's a good tip for everybody else that now has to wash their hands a million times like me.
Freya loves your pepper trick again.
Thank you. I don't know how I discovered it. One time in Italy, I was like, hey, these things are such a pain. How do we do this? Okay, so I want 1 pepper. I'm just going to do big chunks because we're going to put it in the processor. This is for the taco meat. There's 1 onion and 1 pepper for the taco meat. And we're going to do 2 peppers and 2 onions for the lasagna sauce. Okay? So I only need 1. Sometimes if you really want to take some time making the lasagna sauce, you can roast the peppers in the oven. Makes them really nice, and we can go over that sometime. We're going to start adding some extra videos. One this week we're trying to work on is how to make mayonnaise from scratch. We're also going to work on doing some special sauces and spices mixes, so that when I say do stuff for tacos, you'll already have the pre-mixed spice if you like. So, putting those in there. Then the shepherd's pie, we're only going to chop the onion, the rest is going to be whole. Okay, next, who is going to be doing
Allie wants mayo.
Mayo? I want it this week. You want to buy some? You have to come have coffee with me then.
Allie said all those veggie scraps are good to put in the freezer for bone broth. Yes, they are.
They very much are.
Thanks, Brenda. She loves my kitchen.
So we are going to chop these into noodles. And I'm going to use the handy dandy mandolin. Which, do you have your glove? It was out on the counter and now it's missing.
I put it away.
And I'm trying to be a good example and I'm going to use a glove. I really love Pam's kitchen too. It's bright and warm. We have a fire going in the background.
And I'm adding color to it.
Yes, and she's adding colorful plates to it. Yay! And I had a pink sweatshirt on and then I took it off and I have a black shirt. Oops. I'm trying. Alright, on the mandolin, I'm going to use the second from the largest. So not the largest, but the next one over. And I always try to find where it's not going to roll so much. And trim that part off. And then you can make your noodles.
A note with all those scraps, one of our friends last week, she takes all the scraps and makes veggie broth.
Yes, that's right. And if you didn't have, if you wanted to do all of these meals vegetarian, all you have to do is add some lentils or other beans to it. Whatever your favorite bean mix is, works really well as layering.
Lasagna, you could just do
More veggies.
Yeah. Thanks, Freya. She said I have a gorgeous kitchen. I do like it most of the time.
Except when she comes in and it's dirty.
Husband. Amanda just joined us.
Hi, Amanda.
I don't know if we have any cookers this week. They may just all be doing it later.
There we go. Don't forget, if you want to ask questions later when you're cooking, to tag me or Pam so that we see it.
We have an intruder.
You do.
Keep it up, Amy.
All right, our hamburger just sealed. That's good. 30 minutes to throw these sauces together. If you have a guinea pig, they also like the scraps, or a bunny. I have a client with a guinea pig, and so I always save the scraps so she can give it to her. We used to have a guinea pig, and when she smelled things, she would start squeaking at us.
Yeah, carrots especially.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brenda, she wants to know what that coolest doodad cucumber slicer is from what we have.
Oh,
You
sorry, guys.
You missed our first video.
There you go. This is a mandolin. This is the best brand, I think, because of this V blade, and it's long. It slices very well.
Oh my gosh!
I don't think that was there before. I mean, I think that was there before. I don't know. But I didn't cut my finger.
Those are supposed to
I
be
guess you gotta be watching for those
bulletproof.
things. There you go. I think that's more like a seam that came out. So the mandolin, this is a Swiss Warner. You can get it on Amazon. They're awesome. They come in all kinds of fun colors, and they have different attachments. I'll use maybe this in a moment, but you use it for shredding. You've got a small size shredder like a julienne, and then you have a larger size, which is stuck. So I'm not going to mess with that for the moment, but that you can do French fries and things like that. I'll actually be using that one next week on our next week's menu, which we'll tell you about later. And so if you buy one of these, you want to make sure you get the glove, because the glove you can actually slice, just obviously make sure the fingers aren't there. But it does wear off, it does wear down. So you eventually want to have another one, but that way you don't cut your hand. Some of the worst cuts in the kitchen are from these babies. In fact, I cut myself so bad the first times I was using it that my husband threw my first one away. And then I bought another one and kept practicing, and so now I'm good with it. But it's a great thing to save time in the kitchen, because how do you make these kinds of slices for noodles? You can, but unless you have what my friend used to call mad knife skills, you're going to struggle with it. So we're taking the struggle out of the kitchen, making things easy with tools, and this is a great tool to have, as long as you have the glove. Does that answer your question, Brenda?
And we just had Celia and Colleen
Hi,
pop
guys.
on. Hello, ladies. Celia was actually here last week. She's our photographer. She was taking 100 pictures of Amy in the kitchen behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
We get to see them all today.
Yay. So we're almost done with this. We're going to get those into the oven. So you can do this on a flat grill, or you can even do this on the barbecue. That works really well. But today we're going to use the oven. And I'm going to rinse this. Always rinse these as soon as you use them because they get gummy. If not, if you keep it rinsed off, it'll stay sharp and good for a long time. So I'm going to rinse this off. All right. Take my glove off. Today I'm going to use this to put in the oven, and we're just putting a few here. They're going to cook till they're just starting to dry out, because this will help keep your lasagna not so runny. So,
is anybody cooking with us today, or they're all going to do it later?
a little bit busy today. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, so understood. There you go. All right, I'm gonna go throw these, whoops, in the oven.
I have 2 of those if you need.
Yeah, maybe we'll do 2. There's one. Is it in here?
Yep.
Ah.
Oh, lucky Brenda. Her husband's cooking dinner tonight for them.
Nice.
Well, then tonight's taken care of. You could cook your 3 meals tomorrow and be pretty much done the rest of the week.
There you go. Today we're going to be making a shepherd's pie in a 9x13 and a lasagna in a 9x13 pan. And then the taco meat we'll just store in a container, and then you can use it as you wish. So, like I said, nachos, salads, all kinds of yummy stuff like that. All right, these I actually need there, because I put those in there. These in the oven. And set it for 15 minutes. There we go. Next, let's start on some of our sauces. I'm going to do the taco first because that'll be easy to pull together. So I'm going to move over to the stove now.
Brenda made a good point. She's having a hard time even getting food. The lines are 2 hours long and they're out of everything. So we are going to do a segment on how to cook with what you have. If you have food storage, canned goods, we're going to be doing a segment on that.
Yeah, so you can actually write in and tell me what you have and we'll create a recipe with it. So kind of dig through our pantries and figure things out. One of the things I would say for not having meals that are repetitious or boring from what is in your pantry is having a good stock of spices. So you can order spices online. I love Penzies. I know there's a couple other online sources. Right now, maybe that's the best thing we can do is getting stuff like that. And there's a lot of online ordering through Costco, Fred Meyer's, Safeway. They're all trying to pull in their resources to be able to deliver to people rather than just having to go there. So it's really amazing, again, how the community is pulling together to get through this. And it's really awesome that we are doing it all together. This is a group thing. It's not a small portion of us that are going through this. It's everyone. It's kind of mind-blowing to think the whole world is where we're at. So, that said, let's get to easy chopping. I've got a Ninja. It's got a little thing like that. Mine has black tape on it because I drop it. And that happens. So, to keep it together, I've done that. So, you can put this in here. Kind of get those pushed down in there. It's good if you have a combination of both the types of vegetables. It tends to blend up better that way. So the point is this is going to go into the taco meat so that people don't see large chunks of veggies, which sometimes they cringe at. We're going to hide them.
She not only drops it, she bangs it
Yeah,
on
I bang
the
it.
counter.
That's probably the problem too. That's probably more of the problem, isn't it? But you gotta get the stuff down. So I've done that. I'm gonna dump it into my pan. my handy dandy friend. I've had this one for 6 years now. So, and ironically, I have found the best place to find them is Home Depot during their Christmas sale. They kind of have random utensils and things in the back. They're like $20. Well, normally they're $40 at Fred Meyer. So wait until Christmas, or get one now because they're fun.
I have a question for our viewers while you're baking.
Making noise in the kitchen, it's fun.
I know. So we talked about some tools on our first video, and did anybody order them yet? Has anybody got any of those tools, like the mandolin or the Instapot? I know Leah got her Instapot last week. The first time she used it was with us last Monday.
I know Shauna got hers this week.
Oh, good.
My cousin, and but she won't be able to cook with us, but she's gonna watch later. So hi, sorry you missed us.
So post what fun gadgets you've added to your kitchen.
Oh yeah, on our suggestion.
And you'll have to get it online because you don't want to go to the store and wait in line.
That's for sure. All right, I'm gonna turn this pot on to medium high and just kind of saute it. It's pretty juicy when you blend it like that, so you don't need to add oils. If you want to add some fats to it, avocado oil is always good. But when they're blended, they've got some good juices already flowing. I'm going to add some salt to this, just a bit.
Yes, Brenda, there's two videos so far. One with all the cooking gadgets that we talked about, and then last Monday, the 4 to 6 live. Both of them are still on this Facebook page and will remain there. And if you're on our email list, then you're getting the emails for the recipes. If you've joined recently and you didn't get the recipes for last week, let us know and I can send those out to you.
I asked you guys to get chili pepper, and if you bought a brand new one, you'll want to taste it before you use it. I generally use a lot of chili pepper, but the ones that I have, I like ancho chili pepper, is not as spicy. And the other couple weeks ago, I made something for Pam with her chili pepper, and it was so spicy she couldn't eat it. So make sure you taste it. Don't be afraid. Herbs and spices. We need to be able to taste these things, and I used to be queasy about sticking your finger in there and like licking it, but the reality is that when you know what the flavor profile is, you can better utilize the spice. We have some cumin, which I love, and I think it calls for a lot, and if not, it should be a lot. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon from this jar, which we finished, and then I use cumin so much that this is my jar of cumin, and I go through this probably every couple of months. Like I said, I like Penzeys spices, so I get from there, and I've collected these cool jars, and so on the top it's labeled, and I have a big drawer with all my common spices, and I will probably have a list of those coming up as well. And also somebody asked me to have a list of the most common things that I use, like arrowroot and which spices, also which nut flours, things like that. So we'll be posting a list of those sorts and talking about that at some point. And always looking for suggestions on what people would like to hear about in this lovely kitchen.
Vicki just joined us. Hello, Vicki.
Hi, Vicki. Onions are sharp. If your onions start to hurt your eyes, I do this. Did I show this last time?
Yep.
Oh, yes. You got to get those juices away from them. All right. Back to business. So, that's going to be my slurry for the meat. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of this in there. Woo.
Little tiny bit.
That's a little bit. And then we got this spice from Mexico that you wanted me to try. I think this is kind of sweet. Coriander, black pepper, cumin, oregano, clove, and garlic. That's good. We're going to use a little bit of that. A little bit. Spice up your life. Put some good spices in there. It's good stuff. cooked down a bit, we're going to add
Show them what the sauce
a
looks
pinch
like.
water. There we go. We want this to get nice and smooth. And if your family is a little bit squeamish with the sight of these kinds of things, the peppers and onions, then you can blend this after you've cooked it too. Alrighty. So that's going well. We've got 17 more minutes left on our thing over there for meat. In the meantime, let's start our topping for the shepherd's pie. I'm gonna come back over here. Am I walking out of camera? So, Pam asked for a combination of cauliflower and sweet potatoes. A good way to cut cauliflower is in half, and then you can V out the stem like this.
Freya, what do you think of that?
Cut all these out, okay? I'm just going to put it in there like that into our Instapot. Same with this one. V it out. Better. Put that in the Instapot. Our extra. Don't miss any good stuff. Here's our scraps to make broth. Alrighty. Now let's work on the potatoes. Is your peeler? There it is. You can peel or not peel these as you want. You can also use the white potatoes, or you can use regular potatoes to top your shepherd's pie. All however you prefer. Okay? This also makes a good mash. So if there's leftovers, it's good stuff. And then who doesn't like the topping of things? We're going to put some good garlic in this, and maybe some ghee or butter. Another thing we're going to do is talk about how to make clarified butter, if you want. That'll be one of our things. Go over. So, who has kids at home? Anybody that would like to cook? Maybe we could come up with some easy, kid-friendly recipes that, with ideas of how they could be helping you in the kitchen.
We're going to have Wednesday cooking with wee ones.
Yep. So, some quick pointers, fun things. I know I've taught my kids to make simple things, and then they'll make stuff for you. It's really nice. And then maybe they'll even cook with you. My older son comes and cooks with me at my client's house sometimes because he's so used to the rhythm that I have in the kitchen, and he was my taste tester for years, so he knows how to put things together really well, and it's really fun. But he's always the first one to remind me of how horrible I was in the beginning, which is perfectly fine, and proof that anybody can learn to cook, because I hated cooking in the beginning. And it's just finding your joy and the pleasure in it. Finding ways to make it not so horrible. And remember why you're doing it. You're cooking it to feed your family. You're cooking it to nourish yourself. You're cooking it to fuel life, whether it's your own or your children or your spouses or friends. Food should be fun. It's life. And I love cooking for people. So, you too can get there.
We just had Vicki and Chad join us. I think those are two new members of our group.
Hi guys! So glad you made it. Please feel free to ask any questions. There's no silly questions on this place. Right now we're making the potatoes to go into the Instapot for the topping on the shepherd's pie. Pam asked for cauliflower and sweet potato mix, and so she chose some red sweet potatoes and a nice big head of cauliflower. So if you have leftovers of this, it's really yummy too. Almost done here.
Yeah, you don't want to cook them all.
You don't want them all cooked?
Well, is that going to be way more than we need for the top?
Yeah, but it's good. You're like. But do you want one of these to bake? I know you like baking.
Yeah, I'll keep one baked.
I'm for baking. I don't know, does peels make good sauce? But yes. Aren't the vegetables, or the vegetables, aren't the vitamins in the peel of the potato? That's what my mother always told me. Maybe that was to get me to eat the peel of the potato. If you rinse your things like peelers and knives as you're going, you will find that they clean a lot better in the end. So let's wipe this down a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to put a splash of water in here. If you're putting dry things into the Instapot, you need to put a little bit of water because that's what creates the steam to seal it and make it cook. If not, it will burn on the bottom, and or your Instapot will say burn with it if it senses that it's burning. So I'm going to do a little bit more. Make sure we can get a seal on there. And I'm going to do it for 20 minutes. Should be good. Go from there. Then when we pour off the water out of here, we can actually mix right in the Instapot bowl. It's pretty cool. So we've got that going. Always check your thing in the back here to make sure it's pushed to sealing so that it doesn't start steaming out, and then you'll burn again as well. So I'm going to prepare a few things for the sauce now. Let's check on our meat. Over here for the taco looks great. I'm going to move this over here and start our spaghetti sauce. So again, peppers and onions. Peppers and onions make a great flavorful base. I tend to use them a lot. So we're going to grind these up, get a good mix, this out of the way. Alright. Peppers. Oops. That right out of the way. Another thing I've done a million times is you start filling this thing up and then you realize your blade is still in the dishwasher. Again, the stove is on medium high, and we are throwing these things together. I'm making more of this because we'll be making more sauce than enough for 9x15. Alright, everybody still with me?
The recipe on this lasagna, I think, was for 4 servings, and we're making 8. So
No. I think the recipe was for a 9x13.
was it? Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of hard, and I think I wrote on there, I know I did. If you're making lasagna, you might as well make it 9x13 because it freezes really well, And everybody loves lasagna. So it will be eaten easily. Even with the veggie noodles, it freezes well. So, all right, more. Or also, if you have leftover sauce or meat, if you wanted to make a small one, then you could also have a spaghetti sauce. You could use it on spaghetti squash, or you could make zucchini noodles. Now, the beauty of this recipe is our fresh herbs. So, that's not going to work.
Green one.
Green one. There we go. Get most of this out. That's starting to heat up. And I'm going to pull over our fresh herbs. Yummy stuff.
How many of you have a garden out there or an herb garden or would like to make an herb garden? Anybody out there?
Yeah. You should go show them your garden.
I just planted some herbs in my garden. I have an indoor garden. We'll be soon pulling vegetables out of there for our cooking.
Lovely. So I'm just getting a good amount of basil. If you've got this little container of basil as opposed to the big one, you're going to use all of it. I'm just going to pick off here some of the larger leaves of this one and leave some of this for later. So we've got that. And then
Allie we love ours. Do you have an herb garden, Allie? Is that what you love?
yes,
She does.
she's got outside where she has lavender and fix it to put it in her water.
I have lots of lavender. We should make something with lavender sometime.
I think that's what we put in our water that one weekend. Right, Allie? We had a whole bunch of stuff that she brought from her garden. Just put it in the window and then you can throw sprigs into your water. It's good.
My basil plant is growing right by my sink, right there.
It's reaching for the sun. Alright, so you're picking all the leaves off of these babies. Use the whole thing. Probably make it extra yummy.
Allie has mint, chives, and oregano.
Alright.
I need to plant some thyme and rosemary. I have
Alright.
oregano and basil.
There's oregano. Here's our rosemary. If you pull it against the grain, the leaves should pull off pretty easy. Like that. And then at the end, they're really slow. You can either put that in there and it's going to grind up, or not. Just depends on your preference. The oregano leaves, or no, excuse me, the rosemary leaves will be the least chopped up because they are tougher than the rest. But everybody loves their rosemary. It's good stuff. I'm going to use about half rosemary because it's fairly potent. The oregano is really good, all of it, and then the thyme I'll probably use maybe a third. So
It keeps for a long time too.
yes, they will keep. This, even as it dries, will keep. Alright, getting some sizzle in here. This is good. Now, all of these things, if you were doing them individually, as soon as you get the peppers and onions cooked, then you can throw in the raw meat and cook it together. But we are mass producing, and you'll be surprised how fast it all comes together when we've cooked the meat and done that like that. Also, because for the lasagna, I always keep the meat separate. So we're going to make our sauce by the time the meat's done, our sauce will be done, and then we'll be ready to put together lasagna.
Too bad you guys don't have a smell button on your Facebook Live. Starting to smell really good in here.
This is really so amazing. So yummy. If anybody's drinking bone broth right now to support their immune system, you can put these fresh herbs into it, just chop it up a little bit, and it will make it amazing. So save some of these for bone broth, and we put a post about looking at the bone broth and considering how much protein is in the bone broth, because if there's not very much protein, that means there's more water and not as much of the carcass, which isn't good. So there's a couple brands that we posted that are higher in protein. You can drink those, add some fresh herbs to it, and you have an amazing and immune supporting thing. So I'm just going to take these herbs and chop them up.
Can you show the camera that?
See in there? It's quite, this might be easier. It's pretty chopped. Like I said, the rosemary takes a little bit more. If you don't like that, just keep chopping.
You could also do rosemary first, chop that a little bit, and then chop it, then put
add
everything else in there.
This is true.
Just have Patricia come on with us.
Hello, welcome. So glad you could make it. I really wish you were all sitting here and I could give you taste tests. That would warm my heart. But alas, you'll do it like this.
2 years ago, yesterday, I think we had one of our first live cooking classes where we had 6 to 8 people come to the kitchen and actually do meal prepping here in the kitchen.
Yes, that was really
That was a fun memory to pop up.
Fine. Oh, you know what else I need to do? So, the next step with sauce is deciding how your family likes it. Chunky or not. So these are diced organic tomatoes from Costco. We're just going to blend them up a bit because they're pretty chunky. Just some people like that, so you can decide. And this will get some of the herbs that were stuck in there out too. So this is starting to smell yummy and flavorful. You want the herbs to kind of start to release their aroma.
They are, I can smell them.
That's good because I start to lose the smell. That's why I stick my head right in the pot. Make it work. Alrighty.
So if you're in quarantine and you're watching this video, what are you guys doing to keep your kids busy or your family busy or you yourself busy? What are you doing in your spare time with all this extra time you've got in your hands? Anybody want to share while Amy's chopping up the sauce? I know Freya, you're out of work. Allie, you work from home. Now you've got kids with you. Let me grab the camera over there.
Good. See how they're drying up? They're a little brown. No big deal.
These are going to be our lasagna noodles.
These are looking great. See how they just look like they're dry.
How long did you put them in for?
About 20 minutes. And if you want to, you can turn them over, but I like this pan is really awesome because it's got the holes in it, so it gets both sides. If you had a regular pan, then you would need to flip them at one point, but.
Charlene's painting.
Ooh, Katie.
Can't wait to see.
Now whenever I see flowers, Charlene was with us in Mexico. I think of her and how she might like to paint that flower. All right. This is starting to go.
Freya is deep cleaning her house. I did that Saturday. I gutted my entire kitchen. Hi Shannon, how are you feeling? I started gutting my kitchen, my laundry room, my closets. I was Marie Kondoing my house Saturday. I was home alone and decided to organize.
All right, look, our meat's almost done. Get the sauce done. Then we have one more thing of onions to do after this. Good to go.
Hi Jennifer. Just to recap what Amy has accomplished in 1 hour here, not even an hour. We have done the noodles for the lasagna. She's cut all the vegetables and the lasagna sauce is cooking and almost done. Taco seasoning is done. We just need to add the meat to that. So she's done a lot in 50 minutes.
Yep. Now, you're going to let that sit on low and slow. That's waiting for meat. You can throw this away, and we're going to start on the shepherd's pie. And we're back. Oh, there's the pan. All right, spices need to be put away. We need some nice carrots and this and celery. Put these here.
The eggplant is prepared the same way as the zucchini noodles.
Yes.
But if you're using wheat or gluten-free noodles, you do not have to cook them ahead of time. So that will even save you time.
Yep, and then you
Need
can
more
use
time.
jarred sauce out there, and you're good to go. So, get these. Wash. Our meat is done, just chilling. We're waiting for the pin to go down on that. In the meantime, I'm going to start prepping the veggies for the shepherd's pie. And go from there. I really like this idea of saving the scraps. I'm gonna make a great bone broth, and that totally helps. Number one, if when you're cooking dinner, you have cravings, and you find that you kind of graze as you're going because you're kind of hungry, having a cup of bone broth to sip on instead is a great way to set your stomach up, not feel hungry, and to be not overeating and be full by the time you get to the dinner table. I know I'm very guilty of that. So that's a great thing to have on hand. I'm gonna chop, let's see, we're doing mostly veggies. Pam's working on a veggie forward diet. So we're gonna do quite a bit of celery and carrots to go into this lovely shepherd's pie.
Yeah, I'm only doing 4 pounds for these 3 dishes. So less meat, more veggies.
Yep.
Shauna just got on.
Hi.
Also, if you are vegetarian, you can just take all these scraps and make a veggie broth that you can use in any of your dishes instead of bone broth.
There you go. I know people that will do that and cook it way down and then strain it, puree it and then strain it, and then you can put it into ice cubes and you have kind of like bouillon cubes in essence. You can do that with both the chicken and the veggie broth. Alright, let's look at that. So depending on what size of shepherd's pie you're making, I used about 5 stalks of celery. I'm going to use a few carrots here. Good little amount. Now, if you really wanted to, you could use the mandolin to chop the carrots, or you can just chop. Remember, a good sharp knife helps get through this stuff easier and easier. These are kind of big. There's your carrots. We're going to put some peas in there. Once the sauce is going. Guys, this is really cool. We might even get done before 2 hours.
If you're struggling finding fresh vegetables, then frozen is the next best thing.
Although, that was almost
Yeah,
cleared out
that was
too.
almost cleared out too.
But I think ordering online might be the thing, and be okay with having it delivered in a couple of days, because then they can kind of be aware of what's going on. I noticed at Winco yesterday there was a sign saying they would no longer be open for 24 hours, but they'd be closing for a certain period of time in order to restock the shelves properly. So that's good. They're thinking ahead. We'll make this work, right?
Some stores are opening early for seniors.
That's cool. Okay, Pam had a leftover green pepper in the fridge, so we're going to throw this into the shepherd's pie. These kinds of meals are really awesome for throwing in veggies that need to be used. If you didn't want to put them into your vegetable broth, you can still use them here. So. And away we go.
I have a lot of freeze-dried vegetables. We'll have to figure out how to cook with those.
Soups, right?
Yeah.
Those are great for soups. And rehydrating should be pretty doable. Okay.
Has anybody on have you ever done freeze-dried vegetables? I know my sisters used them a lot, but if you have used those, let us know. See if you've got some good tips out there.
Good recipes. Let's find some. Adding spices. So I kind of chopped this onion large. I thought I would put it in the blender, but I decided with all those other vegetables being big that I kind of want the onions big too.
Do you want me to open this?
No. So, da-da-da, a little extra work. That's okay.
We're ahead of schedule.
We're ahead of schedule. And I really like using my knife. Alright, this is bad.
So for 3 people last week, all the food that we made pretty much lasted us all week. We ate all of that. I even had my son and daughter-in-law over for dinner one night and fed them what we had made.
That's the
So
beauty
it was a
of
lot
having
of food.
on hand. Yeah. You're like, oh, spontaneous. Why don't you stay for dinner? I already have stuff made. That's what I really liked when I was in Italy, is having things prepared so that I could spontaneously say, let's have dinner. Always have stuff on hand for pasta, sauce, and pizza. And it'll be fine. Alright, there's our onion. We've got onions, peppers, green peppers, some celery, and carrots and peas. That's going to be yummy. Get this in there.
And the shepherd's pie could be vegetarian also.
Definitely.
You don't have to add meat to it.
Easy peasy.
We're only going to add a little bit of meat to this one, but you don't have to add any meat at all.
All right, and for this we need the arrowroot and tomato paste. So I'm gonna put this away. Turn this baby back on. Get some oils. This is our favorite.
Cleaned my pantry out Saturday too.
That's nice, isn't it? Feels good. It looks really good. This unplugged, put aside. Okay.
Hello, Chrissy. You're joining us an hour in, but hopefully you'll go back and watch and cook with us later.
Yeah. And remember, if you didn't have the list, find the link and get the recipes, because you can make all of these things easy, even individually. So when you make them together, when you're using just one kind of protein, try to figure out how you can cook it all at once. That's what makes the Instant Pot amazing. Also, because we started with some frozen stuff, so you can make meal prep easy by doing that. I have a client that's I was out of town for a couple weeks, and then she was out of town, and I just contacted her today, and she's like, I was dreaming about your Instant Pot pulled pork and pulled chicken. I need to have that. That makes me feel good. All right, shepherd's pie. That's easy. Can opener. Keep scratching my nose. There's no sniffles, but it's itchy.
Wash your hands every time you touch your nose.
Yeah, I'm doing it. What? Why is it itching?
Freya wanted to know what kind of oil that is.
That was avocado
Turn
and...
that around a little
There we
bit.
go.
We get it at our grocery outlet here in Oregon City.
Yes, which is the best place to find it money-wise. You can get small jars of this, but be careful. The smaller one at grocery outlet, which is only $1 less, and it's 2/3 the size, is pure avocado oil, but it's not as economical as the bigger bottle, which is the mix. So I tend to like the mix. It doesn't go hard like coconut oil normally, and this is what I use to make mayonnaise, because I found that the avocado oil sometimes has some inclusions in it which stop up my avocado or my mayo making apparatus, which we'll show you later. So this is a really great oil, and it doesn't have any flavor to it. So you can cook with it, and you're not putting extra coconut flavor into anything, and it's great for making dressings. It's usually the base for all of my oil dressings as well. Only once in a while do I use olive oil, because it is such a distinct flavor. I really like to use that on its own, and it's really good to get olive oil in your diet every day if you can. I drizzle on something. I drizzle it on my soup, and I'll drizzle it on my salads, even on my avocado toast in the morning. So I make sure I'm getting a tablespoon or two every day. That's a good thing. So,
Remind them you're not cooking it.
no, yes. Your olive oil you don't want to have heated. It changes the molecular structure of it, and we don't digest it. So to get the full benefit of it, it's best to not have it heated. There we go. So I'm only going to saute these up, the veggies, just slightly like al dente, so they're starting to cook. Then we're going to add the paste, and the meat should be done temporarily. This is on a nice simmer going. Let's take a taste of that. Everybody, I'm going to give you a taste. I wish I could pass it through the bag.
I can smell it for you.
All right. That's coming along. So we're going to turn down the oven to 350. And it's saying it's hot, because we'll be baking the lasagna and the shepherd's pie at 3:15. So we've got our thing going down. This is heating very well. Tomato paste, and let's check our meat. That pan down. Oh, here it is. Some good juices there. These machines are amazing. We just have to grind up everything a little bit. And frozen doesn't mean anything. A good thing to have is a meat like fork thing. Do you have one? I don't think you do. Take a look at that.
A wooden one?
Nope. Plastic one. I'll be right back.
Is the meat all chopped up in there? That's the shepherd's pie, lasagna, and taco meat.
All right.
Oh,
This thing. It's great for breaking this stuff up. So we're just gonna put it in there like this, and it will break up the ground meat. You can also use this in the skillet as you're cooking it. It's very good. And that's hot. So this will do a good chopping and mixing. I hear stuff sizzling.
we mixed 2 pounds of turkey and 2 pounds of ground beef. Hello, Kimberly. Somebody commented last week that they didn't like turkey because it gets rubbery. And a lot of people love turkey. So it's kind of preference. I like mixing them personally. It's just a personal preference, so you can do what you want.
All right, that's gonna sit for a minute while I check on these things.
Amy's giving you a lot of options. Again, like the lasagna, you could do eggplant, zucchini, or wheat noodles or gluten-free noodles. There's a lot of options with that. And then you can also do ground turkey, ground chicken, ground beef.
Ground pork. I have clients that like to mix lamb in there. Okay, I'm adding a little wet of water to the taco seasoning because we're gonna put in some meat and cook it down in just a moment. Okay.
We're glad to have you, Kimberly. I'm glad we're here to help you. She says she needs all the help she can get.
Oh, that's awesome. That's why we're here. All right, that's looking good. I didn't use any of the dry seasoning because we already put in the fresh stuff. So if you don't have the fresh, you can use this. I would put about 4 tablespoons in, like really make the saucy yummy and the sauce yummy. This sauce yummy. I'm getting tongue-tied. If not, then you don't need to. So this is starting to go, and it's a good idea when the sauce is starting to cook down to put a lid on it if you don't want to make your kitchen a mess. This tomato sauce likes to do. So I'm just going to turn it way down the other way and let that go. And this one. Starting to smell good. You know what I think I'm going to do is put a little bit of thyme in. This will be yummy in the shepherd's pie. Some fresh thyme.
Yes, we'll have the replay up for quite a while. I think we're gonna give the videos about 4 weeks so people can do a whole month's worth of food. So come back and definitely watch the replay.
There you go.
So we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes, and Amy is about wrapping things up here. We have to assemble everything, but it's going fast today.
Going good. All right. I'm gonna get a scoop and decide how much meat do we want in the lasagna. Probably small bit 1, 2. Trying to get all the juices out of this part of it because the lasagna is going to be wet already. So we want to have a little less juice. The taco meat and the shepherd's pie will have it juicy. It's really good. So I'm going to put a couple scoops into the taco meat. And the rest into our shepherd's pie. There we go. So voila. Suddenly, we have 3 dishes almost ready to start and be done. That's going. I'm going to turn this on and cook down. You saw a little moment ago I added some more liquid to this because we want to now cook it with the meat in it and kind of get those juices sunk into the meat flavoring. So I'm going to turn this one on, which is right here. We have the sauce for this lasagna is simmering, almost ready. I just want to cook it down a little bit so it's not as juicy. We're making the lasagna. And then here is our lovely shepherd's pie. I'm going to get a small spatula, put in our tomato paste. Did you get broth to go with this?
Yes.
Okay. Is it in the pantry? Awesome. Thank you. Alright, we've got a chicken bone broth. This one has
7 grams.
of protein. That's good balance. Nice dark. Oh, that means it was used, they put roasted chicken bones in there. It's really good. Alrighty.
Does anybody want to learn how to make their own bone broth?
We can do that.
Is that something anybody's interested in? Did everybody go to sleep? Amy, maybe you need to start dancing.
We need music. Music, maestro. When I'm in kitchens and clients' houses, I usually have music going because that keeps you busy. And I know this seems like a really long video to you guys, but for me it goes by so fast. When we got done last week, I was like, that was 2 hours? Pam's like, yeah. Yeah. The cool thing about cooking is you can kind of get into your own little world. And if you embrace that, embrace the downtime, which I know we're not very good at because we have a bazillion other things to do, you can make it work for you. So, I put the whole thing of broth into this, and now we're just going to cook it down. You smell it? It needs salt and pepper. And I know our pepper is here, and there's our salt. So,
Allie would love some tips on bone broth.
I can do that. Bone broth. I like to put it in the Instant Pot for about an hour to really break down the bones. And then I put it into a cast iron pot and put it in the oven because that roasted flavor is just amazing. So I'll put it into the Instant Pot for an hour, and then I put it into the oven in a cast iron or some sort of pot for 12 hours. So you're covering the bones with water, and then you're just keeping an eye on it. It should be covered, so that's why the cast iron pot is good, because the lid is heavy, and it will keep the juices kind of going around. The water does go down, so it should be checked about every 6 hours. At night, I put it at like 200, so that there's no chance of the water going out. And then, if you are doing it overnight, the next morning, you pull out your vegetables from the freezer, your scraps or whatever you have, and I stuff those down in there, and then I fill it back up with water, and I'll put it in for another 12 hours, just kind of watching it. And if you go over 12 hours, that's fine. If you want to go under 12 hours, I'll take off broth, and then I'll fill it back up again, because those bones and the meat, or not the meat, but the skin and all that kind of stuff, and the vegetables, they have a lot to give if you let them go for that long. So sometimes you can get two things out of it. And then it's super concentrate. I like to pull it out and cook it on the stove top till it's about half the liquid. And then I strain it. And you will find when that chills, it's super gelatinousy. And that's what shows you that it's got the really good protein and pectins in there that are good for your system. Does that help, Allie?
Also add apple cider vinegar. It helps to break the bones down.
Yes, this is true. Apple cider vinegar in the beginning when you put it into the Instant Pot is really good.
Diane said she could barely hear you.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to repeat that?
Diane, I'm glad you joined us because we're going to have a drawing at the end for a hat.
Yes. Who's going to get the hat? All right, this is going. I'm going to turn that up a little bit so it'll simmer. We want it to cook down. We want this to cook down. And we've got lasagna that's just about cooked down. So I'm actually going to turn that off, and we're going to throw together our lasagna. It's not too hot. All right, coming over. So I set aside some meat for the lasagna, and we've got our cheeses here, and our noodles,
I'm gonna do it.
sharp white and mozzarella. Where did we? That's for that. Oh, we got a panoramic view of the kitchen.
I'm trying to.
Make
So I can
work.
bend it. There we
Okay.
go. That's my goal.
Oh, there you go.
Got
Okay.
this fancy dancy thing here.
I like to make things easier, and having a non-tearing thing is not easier.
There we go. It's not working the way I want it to.
Opposite.
Uh-oh.
All right, never mind.
So, make your life a little easier and put your cheese into a bowl so you're not fighting with the packages. We've got a low moisture mozzarella here and a sharp white cheddar. Just for fun. Mix those up.
Did we mean to do that? Was that an accident?
It's good. That would be what I chose. In fact, I made one 2 days ago for a client, and that's what I chose as well. If you're going for organic, that's good. And then we'll put some Parmesan in there, but that one can be a bit sharper. For some reason, these squishy cheeses, when you're sticking your hand in the package, it just doesn't work very well. So I'm going to get this.
Hello, Kelly. Kelly's joining us here.
Hi, Kelly!
It's really getting sunshine in here.
The sun! I love the sun! It is beautiful. Okay, spoon for the sauce. Lasagna is Italian. Italians love to get their hands dirty. It's necessary. That's how you put love into things. So, I'm going to put a little bit of sauce down. If you're using the noodles, it's important that you put sauce on either side of the noodle, the hard noodles, because you really want that to soak in. I'm using zucchini, so it's not as important, but it's yummy, so that's what we do it. So here, we can move that over there. Can you see? On the bottom, just put them down. I'm going to put kind of these darker ones in there. A layer. On the top will make a pretty design because it's fun. That one's okay. nice and shrunk. Oh, Ducky. I love the...
Diane's
Honey,
jealous
outside.
that we're getting sun because she's getting Oregon weather.
Oh, no.
Hey, we got snow this weekend.
Yeah. That was so crazy. That was so crazy. But we're making yummy food that keeps us warm and cozy, so. All right. So here's our good layer of zucchini. With that going, I'm gonna put another layer of sauce. So if you had regular noodles, put the sauce down, and then put your noodles, and then put more sauce on top. They need to be saturated or they will be hard. So that's the trick to not having to pre-cook them, is just have good sauce around them. Okay, I'm gonna use half of the meat that I set aside. That's hot. Doot, 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 doot. Spread that all around. It's kind of fun, the two different colors. It's pretty. And then we're gonna put some cheese on there.
Now again, if you're a vegetarian, you can use your favorite kind of vegan cheese that you have.
The diet
And
is really
if
good.
you don't want to use the meat, you can use the vegetarian sausage in this. That would be really good. Or just lots more veggies.
There you go. Now we're gonna put some ricotta in there. Now some people don't like ricotta, or they don't like a lot. Another thing that Italians put in here is bechamel, which is kind of like an Alfredo that's made from a flour. So that's definitely not vegetarian, or not, I mean gluten-free, but it's all different. Another thing that Italians have put in these too, I've noticed, is hard-boiled eggs sliced up, which is kind of a different take, add more protein. So we've got that. Now we're gonna do some more sauce. See how lovely the sauce is with fresh herbs? Just looks yummy. And there's our topping for our shepherd's pie is done. All right.
It's just drops of the ricotta cheese. It comes in a container. It'll just melt in there.
Just checking on stuff.
Kelly Edson, are you still on here? I know you've done a lot with hydrated or freeze-dried veggies.
Ooh.
We might have to get into that if people have that in their storage and
Yes.
cooking with what's in your pantry.
And if anybody's brave, they could come be a guest chef with me. Ooh, maybe I could come to your house and cook one time. That would be another fun giveaway.
Yeah, Diane would like that.
Yeah, Diane, I'm on it. But I want to stay at your lake house, please. I would be there.
If we stay quarantined too much longer, we'll have to escape somewhere.
Right? Sillies. All right. That, make sure I have enough to make a pretty top. That looks good. See, hands. Hands makes it yummy. So we're gonna do another layer of sauce, just like we did one underneath. Some people actually put, if you are doing a vegetarian one, which tends to have more water in it because vegetables are watery, you can actually take and whip in a thickener, like, what's the thickener? It replaces egg yolks. So you can either, if you wanted to do it, is it chia seeds? Yeah.
Or flax seeds.
Yes, like a flaxseed slurry. You can put that in there and that makes it thicker. I know sometimes I put, when I'm doing an eggplant one without noodles, I will put in eggs, whipped eggs into the sauce to make it solidify more. So an idea to use an egg replacer.
Charlene said you can go to her house, she's closer. And Diane said, yeah, but I don't have 4 Instapots.
I can survive without the Instapots. I could make it work, but why? Why when I don't have to? But like when I went to Mexico, I survived for a whole week without an Instant Pot or an air fryer.
You didn't cook dinners.
I didn't cook dinners. That's right. Well, hodgepodge. All right, we're gonna get a layer of Parmesan in there. Spread, dampen down. Oh, yum! And some more ricotta. You can make this little tiny droplets. You can flatten it out, but it will melt and be super yummy. And this goodness. So I like to use half the meat on the first layer and half on the second, and then you do the same with the ricotta. This little can is a perfect thing for that.
Freya said she is so gonna make this.
Yay!
If you put your pictures on our Facebook page, there's
You
a
go in the
drawing,
drawing.
and we'll be drawing different things: wooden spoons, cutting boards, fancy hats, gloves for the mandolin.
Yep.
Every week we'll have a different drawing. This week we're drawing for one of
Chef's hat.
a hat like Amy, and we have 3 people: Diane, Charlene, and Leah. All did their pictures this last week.
Good
So we're gonna have a
job.
drawing and pick one of those. So Diane and Charlene are sister-in-laws. So they're gonna have,
All right, now we're gonna make a nice pretty design on here. I put one on the end like that, and then I'm gonna do a crisscross. That. So whoever likes vegetables, eat the middle section, because that's where the most zucchini will be. So I get little ones like that.
they want you to be a prize.
Eventually, maybe we could give me away for a week.
A week? Wow, that'd be like grand prize.
Well, but no, that a week. But I cook one day for a week's worth of food. Don't forget.
Maybe we'll have a grand prize after a couple months we're doing this, and we'll put all the people that have ever posted a picture in.
There we go.
And have a grand prize. That'll be Amy gets to cook at their house. It has to be a week when I'm on vacation. No.
You have to come with me and be my sous chef.
Yeah, but then I won't have any food for the week.
I'll still cook for you.
Peggy, hello Peggy. Peggy's on, and she is your sister, Charlene's sister.
Oh, I was like, I don't have a sister named Peggy. Hi, Peggy. All right, look at this yumminess. Whoa.
It's like it'll boil over.
A little bit. Lasagna is not lasagna if it doesn't boil over. Yep, it's super juicy. That's how, if you put the egg in there, it would be less juicy, but we're gonna not put any more sauce. You know, ovens these days, they have self-cleaning options.
Yeah, my enchiladas boiled over last week.
Ah,
Oh, well.
makes it good and
That's
yummy.
what smelled so yummy.
All right, we've got stuff boiling over there. This is good. Put the rest of our cheese on.
I know what I'm having for dinner tonight.
Some lasagna. I'll make a seal. Whoops! Lasagna is not lasagna unless it's messy. Just in hands. Put your love in it.
We'll let Tucker out after
We'll let
this.
Tucker out. Yeah. Dogs are great for cleanup. Alright. Now, that's pretty. Let's put a little bit of decoration. Hi, Tucker.
Oh, did you hear us talk about you?
Alright, so let's top it off because we like to make things pretty. Put a little bit of our dried Italian seasoning. And there you go. Lasagna's done. Just gonna throw it in the oven. Do you want it in the oven now?
Sure.
Alright, 350 for 35 to 45 minutes. What you wanna see is the sides bubbling. And hopefully not bubbling over too much. Meow. amazing. This is almost done. What
So
are you gonna do with your
nobody
chocolate?
said that they had their kids home this week, or that they're gonna have their kids help them.
Ah. Sometimes it's easier to leave them on their stuff.
Is anybody interested in cooking with wee ones on Wednesday?
All right. Let's get this through.
Wee ones can be up to teens.
Cleanup crew. Okay. Those are both going. Let's look at our topping for, what was this? Parsley. Oh, Italian parsley. Okay. Oh, and it's still going. So this got done just 9 minutes ago, and I'm gonna do the self-release. But I think it's close to being done. So if you want to self-release it, manually release it, you want to make sure that you have given it a few minutes to come down by itself a little bit. And if you're doing meat, for some reason, it bubbles up and will actually spew out of here. So you want to make sure you're either prepared for that by covering it with a towel or giving it at least 15 minutes before you try to self-release it. I smell cauliflower.
You can unplug mine, it's on warm.
Oh. Turn her on. Ta-da. That's good. Good. And we're almost done. Let's put some garlic powder in this.
It's the same size as that.
I know. I was just smelling that one. That does smell good. But I think we'll go for some garlic. And see how this goes. Sometimes it's so nice and whipped you just have to use a spoon or a whisk. Sometimes it's a little firmer. So let's see what we got. Do you have a masher?
Mm-hmm.
Is it in there also?
Yep.
So these are two different things you can use to mash that up, which is good. Where it's going. Okay. Flying rings. That's old. I think I need to replace it. When they start to turn brown and get too loose, then you can replace the Instapot rings fairly cheaply from Amazon. Just make sure you have the right size. So, oh, nice and soft. What I want, though, is the liquid out of this. So, it's always hot. Be careful. Potato down. I'm just gonna leave it in there. All right, so these are nice and soft. We're just gonna mash with this.
I also have a stick blender.
That would make it too much. You know, you can over blend potatoes and cauliflower, and it just turns into it pulls out like a glue in them, and it makes them sticky, like too sticky. So. Burning my knuckles. Okay, let's make sure our machines are off. Unplugged. Set aside. good. We're gonna use some, would you like some butter in this? All right. Do you have ghee?
I have ghee.
Yes, let's use some ghee. I did burn it.
I will run out of butter if I can't go shopping soon.
Oh no.
Usually I have stuff in the freezer, but I don't so often.
Here. All right, we got this at Costco, and it's ghee. So she bought that. I like to buy butter and make myself, but this is a really good deal if you don't have time for that. So.
I have a little ladle in the second drawer.
Beautiful. Let's do 2 tablespoons. This was a whole head of cauliflower and like 6 potatoes. And it smells good. Keep wanting to touch it. Here we go.
What is ghee?
Ghee is butter with the solids removed. So I take regular butter and I boil it, and as it boils, you know when butter melts completely and then you find it and it's solidified again and there's like that kind of curdle stuff on top and then there's the clear underneath? It's the clear underneath that is better for you than the curdle on top. So when you boil it, you can be scooping off the curdle that rises to the top, and then there's also water in butter, and you can boil all the water out, and then it can stay on the counter or in the pantry and not go bad because the water, is what creates the ability for it to mold if there's water in it. So it will keep like this for a long time. And then it's really nice that you can have soft butter instead of something that's on the plate that's melting away. Like I keep a little jar of it always. And it mixes well. Oh, and you can put it on popped popcorn, like air popped popcorn, and it doesn't make it shrivel up. You know how when you pop popcorn and you put melted butter on it, for some reason it makes it shrivel? When you put the ghee on there, it doesn't. I don't know why. We'll have to figure that out.
Probably because there's no water in it.
Maybe it's the water. This is true. So water's what makes it blah blah. Does anybody know why that would be? Or have another guess?
GHEE. And I don't know if Costco is out of this or not.
It's one of those things that'll keep. I don't know. Has anybody been able to order food from Costco and have it delivered? Or do they only do dry goods?
I think you have to go through a separate thing on the fridgy stuff.
Well, and you know what's funny is, didn't Amazon try to break into the whole grocery buying thing? Maybe now's their chance. They knew what we would need, huh?
I still don't think it does any good if they don't have it, they don't have it.
Yeah, but as things calm down and people have supplies, I am hoping that there'll be less fear about running out, right? So we'll be back to buying normal quantities.
My brother-in-law works at a grocery store, and he said they did in one day on a Friday, they did in sales what they normally do in 30 days. One day.
That's crazy.
You wonder why everything's gone.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put about a teaspoon or 2 of this, and then I'm gonna use this to mix it in. Because I don't want it to be in clumps. If I use this, there's a possibility that it could be in there in clumps. So, this is mixing really, really well. Look at that. see it? I'm gonna take a little taste. A little bit of salt.
I think we talked about this last week, but real salt is the only type of salt you should be using.
Well, it's the best salt to be using for getting your minerals. Don't discount all the other ones. We like them. I love Himalayan
According to my doctor, this is the only salt you should be using.
But there's black salts, and there's Hawaiian salts, and the Peruvian blue salts. Those have some minerals, but this one has the most and the best. So,
Real salt.
splattering on my face. All right, topping, check. So, deciding what you want to put in your taco salads would be the next step. We are almost done. The meat's almost done. We'll just have that chilled, and then Pam can put together taco salads with whatever base she wants. Some people like shredded cabbage. How we shredded it last week with the coleslaw works really well with the mandolin. And if you shred up a whole bunch of that and put it in the refrigerator, it will keep for 3 to 4 weeks. It's pretty awesome. Just don't put anything else with it, and make sure there's not a lot of moisture in there, and it keeps really, really well, and you can keep adding that to things. You can also use we've got some pico de gallo that we bought, and it didn't look like there was as many tomatoes as we wanted in it, so we're going to chop some tomatoes to mix in that so she can put that into her salad. You can do cheeses, you can do olives and beans. I did put a whole list of things on the menu that as ideas. You can make nachos out of these things, so it's a great idea to have a taco meat for family eating, because you can make a salad and you can make a nacho at the same time, and super easy. The kids like it, and you're getting your salad out of it as well. So, got that. Alright. Let's put the arrowroot into our thing. Arrowroot acts just like cornstarch. So, it's one of the things that I always keep on hand. You can get a big jar of it from Bob's Red Mill. You can buy little jars of it if you want to start out in the regular spice section. It's pretty good.
You can buy real salt at any grocery store that we've found. Freddy's.
All right. Do you want to come show them a look of the taco meat? How cooked down it needs to be. I like to leave a little moisture in there because it will soak into the meat as it chills. So this is quite perfect. Oops, that's the wrong way. So got to turn that off, and that's done. And now
I've released our vacuum. He's been in the kennel while we've been cooking.
Yay, Tucker! Clean up, clean up. His favorite thing to find is carrots. Ah, hi, buddy. All right. Little bowl. Do you have a big whisk? Yes. I'm gonna use just a little bit of water here. About a quarter cup of water. And a tablespoon of arrowroot.
Freya said hi, Tucker.
And you want to mix that in. Make sure you mix it in water separately, because like cornstarch, it'll glump into nastiness if you try to put it straight into the hot liquid. So I mix that up, and then I do this just like you would cornstarch. And then stir that in. And immediately it's going to start getting thick. If for some reason it gets too thick, add some more water, some more broth, and get control of it. But you do want it to bring it back up to a boil just by adding that little bit of cold water. It's stopped the boiling process. So we're going to finish letting it come back up to a boil again because that also takes care of the graininess. I think that the arrowroot is just a little bit more grainy than cornstarch if it's not cooked all the way. So one of these times we're going to have to do a thing of breakfasts because I make the best biscuits and gravy, gluten and dairy free. The very best. So this is going to come to a boil. Come right over here. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking with me.
Technical difficulty. Yeah.
There we go. Hi. Welcome and thank you for sticking with me. I hope that your cooking is going well and that your kitchen is filled with amazing smells. On a side note, when we come together next week, we'll be making something out of pork tenderloin. So I have some tips and tricks on how to make 3 different sides quickly with one type of meat, which is the pork tenderloin, and it's going to be really yummy because I'm going to be using Brussels sprouts, and we're going to make a pineapple and cucumber salad, and we're going to make a root vegetable mash. So it's going to be yummy. Don't miss out. Now Pam's sneaking into the mashed potatoes on the other side of me here.
You're supposed to tell, right?
It's her prerogative. She gets to try, right? I do wish that you were all here. And I
Freya
could give you
said
tries.
she never thought of combining cauliflower and sweet potatoes. It's really good.
Always good with garlic and butter.
Can't go wrong.
You can't miss it. The cool thing about mixing potatoes with cauliflower is cauliflower can be kind of limp and wet, and it's got a weird texture. So if people are trying to get away from potatoes and they go straight to cauliflower, they're like, it just doesn't work. But putting in some sweet potato in there really makes the texture more bearable, and it's really good. So
You can also do the white sweet potatoes if you're trying to bake out your family.
yeah. So start with like a white sweet potato and maybe only 1/4 of the cauliflower mix. So you're having a greater portion of the sweet potato is always good. Next week with the root vegetable mash, it's going to be orange sweet potatoes with carrots and turnips, and then also an apple. So it's going to be really good and super easy. These things are so awesome for having in your fridge and easy to heat up. That's what I love about the recipes, and what I've learned over the last few years is being able to come up with stuff that actually tastes better the next day. So you're not feeling like, oh, I wish they were eating this, or I wish we could eat this. All these different things. Of course, take bites as you go, but do leave some for the other meals. And it's good stuff. Some of these flavors can sink in and just make them even yummier the next day. Even the lasagna, if you didn't want to cook it to begin with, if it sat, it will soak in the flavors really, really well into your either dry noodles or your zucchini or eggplant. So it's good stuff. Okay, this is getting back to a boil. This is good. Smells good. I love smelling my stuff. All right, we've got taco meat, and Pam's gonna make salad, and it's good stuff. I think this is good. Okay, brought that back to a boil. Thank you. Let's put this on there. Let's cover this up. All right. Test your handles. Where's my towel? See how this is pretty thick? I'm just gonna pour it into here. You can also put other frozen vegetables in here if you wanted to make this, if you didn't have fresh stuff. But it's really good with corn and green beans, carrots, even those medley mixes. That's an easier way to do meal prep too. Pound a hamburger, medley of different frozen vegetables, some tomato paste, and we put fresh thyme in this one, some salt and pepper. Be good. I think I'm gonna take about a scoop or so out of this so we don't make Pam's oven all dirty. And she can just eat this like stew. We could make mini ones, that would be kind of fun. If you have little ramekins, we could make some mini things. So the trick with the shepherd's pie is making sure that your topping seals the deal, seals it all in, and then it makes it super yummy. So let's turn that. You're gonna give me that. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna put this on top, little bits at a time, or else it will sink in. So I'm gonna flatten that out. Look at how well that's just. There.
Such an art.
If you're a crafter, this can be just as much fun.
Hi, Valerie. That's my cousin now. Which does Amy like better, zucchini noodles or eggplant?
I like the eggplant. I find it to be a little drier. I really love doing the eggplant, and I love doing it when I can do it on a grill, like a barbecue. It works really well. Even in the oven is good too. But because it's different, and I don't eat eggplant otherwise very often, so as a way of getting more variety, I do love doing the eggplant. And I always surprise people who don't like eggplant when I make them the eggplant parmesan, I call it, because I can do it without, there's something about it, I can do it without the cheese, and it's amazing. So
Diane loves your creation. You make it look so easy.
This is my art. This is, Shirlene is a painter, and I am the artistic chef. Make it pretty. That's what I need to do. All right, get it all covered up. When my son makes this, he does decorations in the thing with a fork. Maybe we'll have to do that in his honor. So watch this. You have a big fork. You have a big fork.
Right here.
Aha. This is
It's like a peanut butter cookie.
There you go. There you go. Sometimes I'll add fresh parsley to the topping too. Makes it kind of fun, different. There, that's in honor of Owen. That's his design. So.
Diane said she does not like eggplant, but she did buy it to try it.
Wow, good job.
Good job.
Yeah, when you put it in the oven to dry it out, put a little salt and pepper on it. And you want them to be a little bit drier than what you saw the zucchini to be. And they actually, it's like almost a bread consistency. It's crazy. I actually used those instead of little crostinis. You don't want them crispy, but I did that with some hors d'oeuvres in Italy, where they're all about their bread, and they loved it. So I would wrap those when I went gluten-free and dairy-free there. I would wrap the different kinds of peppers and onions and things that we would use as a appetizer in those and pin it, and people would eat it. It was awesome. So branch out. It can be done really well and yummy, and if it doesn't work out for you this time, the next time I see you, we'll do it together. So you guys, this is it. And we're almost out of time. So
4 minutes
I
to go.
hope that this worked out well for you. I hope that as you're cooking later and I'm not here live with you, you do tag Pam or I with any questions you have, and we will definitely answer them. And I thank you for joining us. This was really fun. It's fun to talk to you while I'm cooking. I'm usually alone, so this is a great experience, and I hope it was for you as well. And we will see you next week.
Don't forget to post your pictures, and we are going to have a
Wait,
drawing
we're
right
gonna have
now.
a drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, right now. I was signing off.
No, don't sign up yet.
All right, you got him?
I got them. Do we have a pot, a hat? Put them in your hat.
Oh,
Put them in your hat.
I'm gonna take my hat off. Don't mind the hair. All right. Ta-da! Let me
Drum
see.
roll, please.
It's Diane! Yay! We're gonna be hat sisters. Yippee! All right. You need to send us your address. Do we have our physical address?
I don't think so.
Send that to us so we can send you your prize of a hat like mine, and we can cook together with our hats. Okay.
And my mom just came on, so hi, Terry.
Hi, Mom!
All right. You want to tell us what we're cooking next week again?
That's right. Next week, pork. We're going to use pork tenderloin or pork chops, whatever you guys want to grab. Then we're going to do a root vegetable mash as a side. We're going to do Brussels sprouts with onions, bacon, and apples. That's a really great place. If you don't like Brussels sprouts or didn't like them before, you will like them this way, I promise. And we're going to do a grilled pineapple and cucumber salad. That is our way of praying for the spring to come, because it is amazing and yummy and makes me think of summertime. So, summer, here we come.
Yes. Summer, here we come. No more snow.
No more snow. We need
And
no more snow.
hopefully you can get some groceries this week.
Yeah.
Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Actually, we'll talk to you tomorrow if
Yeah.
you're here. We're going to be on every day this week. Happy cooking.